Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Aerial X Adventures. First, I just want to thank all you guys and gals who've been supporting me, and especially there's some people on my new videos on Jehovah's Witnesses. It's a couple of people that had come out and told me their stories, not little stories, big stories actually, about this group, and I just thought I'd do something different that day, but it turned into like a whole different thing. Now I'm starting to feel a lot of love and sympathy for these people who've been in that group. But hey, I'm gonna do something different tonight and talk a little bit about the Wim Hof Method. I think I'm pronouncing his name. A lot of people say Wim Hof, but I think in Holland I'm pretty sure it's Wim Hof. He's a Dutch guy. He's kind of thought of as like a lot of people call him the Iceman because he was able to withstand a lot of cold and without his core body temperature going down and all this stuff. But I just want to tell you my own personal story because I've been doing this for about 4 months now, almost, and it's not nearly as long as some of my friends or other YouTubers that I've watched. These guys have been doing Wim Hof Method for like a year or something. But I just want to tell you my story, like probably about 4 or 5, well, let's say 6 months ago. You know, this past, like, all during the coronavirus, actually, there was a bunch of bad shit that happened in my life personally. I'm in Ireland. I'm an American. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you guys don't know, so I'm from the city. I'm from the neighborhood, from Northeast Minneapolis. Big shout out to Northeast. And a bunch of people, a couple of people died like from back home, and it really like fucked me up, and it was tough, you know. And I started doing this Wim Hof method because I started hearing stuff about it. And I was watching it on YouTube and Vice channel and stuff, and saw all this stuff about the Wim Hof method, and so then one day I just started doing it. I just decided to do the little 10-minute or 11-minute tutorial and just did the breathing exercise. And this was probably in like June, like the end of June. And at the time, guys, I have to say, I was like doing cocaine. I was doing it like too much because in my situation, it just happens to be really convenient to get. But then, and so I started doing Wim Hof, and I was still doing coke, pretty frequently. Nearly every day I would buy like at least a half a gram for 50 quid or something. I mean, it started costing like a lot of money. I've been through a lot in the last, well, I haven't been, but the families of the people who died, I should put them before me, but I have felt a lot of sorrow for old friends, friend of my brother and a friend of mine, a dear friend from high school. This guy died. I don't know all the details, but there's just bad shit in the U.S. right now. And a lot of people are like depressed over there, and all over the place. And I think we're like more sensitive because of coronavirus and shit, and having to stay indoors and stuff, like it makes us more sensitive to the outside world. And when we encounter a problem, it's like a pretty major thing sometimes. But like anyway, so I was doing like way too much yayo, and I started doing Wim Hof, and then one day I thought, why the fuck I'm doing this Wim Hof method, which makes me feel great. It makes me feel like I'm getting this new energy and just relaxing, and it's a whole different meditative experience. And I was like, why am I still doing cocaine? Like, that's like, you're just a hypocrite, you know. And actually, that's one thing about the Wim Hof method when you start it. It's only very simple, guys. It's like takes 10 minutes. We all have 10 minutes out of our day that we can do to to improve our lives. And I owe this guy, well, he would say, I think, Wim Hof would say, probably if he was sitting in the room with me, he would probably say, you don't owe me anything. You did it yourself. And that's the message behind it, you know, like, it's a breathing exercise, but it's more than that. There's scientists that are talking about that this breathing exercise, it releases like endogenous DMT and stuff, that chemicals, there's a chemical, the DMT chemical, dimethyltryptamine, is in our body naturally, you know, and it's like learning to breathe again. You know, we forget how to breathe, you know, we like this other YouTuber, man, I can't think of his name. He was talking about it like we start out as a baby, you know, and we take deep breaths and we know how to breathe and we know how to relax. And if you watch a kid or a baby sleep to about the time they're like 3, 4, you know, their stomach rises and falls, you know, like, and at some point in our life, like, we stop doing that and we take shallow breaths of oxygen, which is what we need. But I stopped all of that, you know, on July 7th of this year. I stopped all like cocaine, all bad shit. I only do natural substances. I like a good couple beers here and there and a glass of wine, and I do smoke cigarettes. That's that's an addiction too, you know, but I smoke marijuana every day and I have for a long time, and I'm a strong proponent of that. Marijuana and mushrooms and these natural substances that were put here for us to discover, you know. And this all goes back to this Wim Hof method. Like, I've started doing it now. I've been doing it for 4 months, and I realized so many things. Like, it makes you so much more clear in your focus, and, like, it makes you want to go do things during the day instead of just sitting around. It gives you all this extra energy. I drink a lot of good coffee, too. So that helps. But I don't drink too much of coffee, you know, like 2 or 3, but I have a good coffee espresso machine. It's one of my other videos. But yeah, like, I do this every day. Sometimes maybe another extra little session later in the day, but if you watch, like, if you just, you know, go onto YouTube and type in WIM HOF breathing tutorial, you know, it's 11 minutes of your day, you know, why not give it a shot? Like, if you're struggling with any kind of drug addiction, like to bad shit, like cocaine, you know, cocaine is a great drug, don't get me wrong. It's fantastic. I could tell, and I'm gonna tell, like, I have plans for this YouTube channel, and I'm really happy you guys subscribe to this channel and got my little fan base. I know it's not that many people. And I don't even know a lot of you guys' ages or where you're from, but I'm learning about all you guys as you comment on my videos, you know. And I know it's small time, but hey, one of my videos got 700 views. That's better than I ever did when I was doing fucking drone videos, so. And I still like flying drones, don't get me wrong. I like a good sativa in the day. If I got an indica at night, it's great. But that's so much better than like Coke or something like that. You're gonna always be tired. You're gonna always be like needing that shit. I remember doing it in the morning, man, with coffee, you know, and a cigarette. Like, that's my morning wake up. That's not how it should be, man. Nobody should have to live like, nobody should live like that. It's bad news, but yeah, so the Wim Hof method, I haven't done any of that shit really. I did like try it with my friend, my buddy one night. We were like, well, why not? We'll do a little bit. I didn't even really feel like ever wanted to do it. I still get it for some other people, and I don't have any urge to do it at all. And it's sitting in my cupboard. It'll be sitting in my cupboard sometimes, just a little bit for somebody. I'm just doing them a favor because they're a friend. But I'll always say to them, like, hey, dude, there's better shit to be doing than this, Like, anyway, I just wanted to make this video and say that I'm not going to go into all the details of the Wim Hof method. You guys got to discover that for yourself. But now I've started doing cold immersion and stuff over the past maybe couple of months, maybe. Wasn't doing it right away, but I added that to it. Now whenever I take a shower, it's like a cold shower, and it just like is an electric jolt, like better than any drug, And the meditative position, I think, in the world that it gives you, and the ability to like, this is despite the scientific side. I don't know if you guys know about the study that was done, but I'll just briefly summarize it because I don't want this to get too long. There were like 30 people total, right? 15 people who were normal folks who never heard of Wim Hof, and then there was 15 other people. This was a scientific experiment done by like PhD guys, like scientists and shit. Guys that have dedicated a lot more of their life to studies than I have. I have a bachelor's degree, but from the University of Minnesota, which is a great school. But anyway, so they took 15 normal people, 15 other people were chosen, and they spent 3 days with Wim Hof, or something like 3 or 4 days with Wim Hof, learning the method, the breathing thing, and then trying cold immersion and this sort of thing. They came back into the laboratory, all 30 of them. They gave them all a shot of a dead bacteria, basically, like a flu bacteria that would cause anybody normally to be sick for about a day or two. Very small dose of dead, like flu bacteria. But the immune system in the human body reacts to dead bacteria the same way that it would a live organism. It sparks the immune system into action. The 15 people who did Wim Hof, the 15 normal people, they all got sick. They all showed symptoms. The 15 people who did Wim Hof, none of them got sick, and none of them showed any symptoms. So, there you go. You tell me. I think it's probably worth 10 or 11 minutes out of our day to explore this. If it makes us better and more apt human beings, and it's retraining our brain to deal with like uncomfortable situations, like cold exposure. It just shocks your brain into it a whole different, it's like it thinks you're in a river. And you do it more and more, and you can stay in the cold, and you have all these benefits. Better circulation, more clear thinking, better analysis of situations and how you say things and act toward one another. And for me, it's been like a midlife, people call it a midlife crisis. For me, it's midlife awakening, I think. To me, anyway. So, thank you, Wim Hof. And I love you, man, and I love you guys too. And if you can get a few more subscribers, I got 50 some right now, 55 or 57 or something like that. I just need a few more, man. We just gotta try to expand. I'm trying to expand this channel a little bit, but thank you guys the most for listening and commenting, and I encourage that, and I'll try to answer everybody's comment until it gets so crazy that I gotta hire somebody like my buddy Robert, the Lithuanian guy, or one of my friends to help me. So that's my goal. All right. See you guys. Peace, and have a good night, or a good day, good morning, or whatever.